Barbara, can you hear me? Barbara, can you hear me? Barbara West?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Okay. Hey, that bill number I misprinted. It should be 2624, not 20.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know why my camera's not coming up, but you can hear me, can't you?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Everybody safe and sound?
Yeah, I'm snowed in real good.
Good.
If this man don't stop texting me.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
Mayor.
Mayor.
Good evening. Good to see,
Good evening.
good to see all of you on tonight. All right, it is now 7:30. Again, let me welcome everyone on the Zoom meeting tonight. We'll call the meeting to order with roll call. Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Alderwoman West,
Present.
Alderwoman Chapman.
She's absent, excuse.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Reed,
Present.
Alderman Carroll,
Present.
Alderman Thomas,
Present.
Alderwoman Dales,
Present.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Present.
Thank you. Sir, we do have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
All right, very good. We will proceed on our agenda.
I'd like
In fact, is there approval? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda with addition to add citizens' comments at the very beginning before new business, after the approval of the agenda.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, it has been moved and properly second that we would amend the agenda and add public comment before new business. All in favor, say aye.
For the question,
It's a question.
you asked for the approval of the agenda and she did not make a motion to amend. She just said what she wanted to add.
Restating, Mayor.
Go ahead and restate your motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for Thursday, February the 3rd, 2022, with an amendment to add public comments before new business, item number 4.
All right, is there a second?
I second.
Further comments?
I would like to amend the motion to add a correction to the agenda. The bill number should be 2624.
Yes, thank you for doing that.
And so my motion is to approve the agenda as written with the correction of the bill number being changed to 2624.
Well, we have a motion to amend the agenda and a second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Mayor,
No.
just a correction, Mayor. Since I amended the motion, we have to go with mine first and then follow
Then go
back to
back.
the other one. So we were waiting on a second. You didn't ask for a second.
Boy.
Is there a second?
Alderwoman West, second.
Uh,
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
And we approve the agenda as amended
With the correction, rather.
with a correction of 2624. Collector Howell, you're unmuted.
All right, now, was it second? Also, was there? We had a motion to amend the agenda, and then you put a motion to make a correction to the agenda. We voted to make the correction. Now, we need to, on the amendment. to the-
Yes, I just asked for, I just made that motion. I'm not sure if a second was stated.
That is to put public comment on the agenda.
No, that wasn't approved.
It wasn't rejected either. So give me a clean motion. Alderwoman Dales. As to your amendment or addition to the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda with an addition for the ordinance to add public comments before new business item number 4.
Is there a second?
I second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, why wasn't it included in the first place?
Oh, Jesus, Lord help me, Father.
Because you
Well-
could have told him to do that before now. Why wasn't it included, Mayor?
Well, right now, we have a motion and I'm calling for the vote right now.
We're on the question.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
I want a roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
Are you ready? Alderwoman West,
No,
Alderwoman Reed. I can't hear you, ma'am.
No.
Thank you. Alderman Carroll,
No.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales.
Absolutely for the citizens.
I'm sorry, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Alderwoman Avant Elliott,
No,
on a call of 4 noes to 2 yeses, the approval of the agenda was not passed, as stated in the motion.
All right, and now is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
there's a motion. I made a motion before. I moved that the agenda be approved as amended with the change to the bill number.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as is? That includes the correction that you made. Is there? a roll call?
That's how the motion go.
Roll
So we
call.
just need a second.
Is there a second? Alderman Carroll, second.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Alderwoman West,
yes,
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes,
With the unanimous voting, the approval of the agenda with the correction of the bill number has been passed.
All right, thank you. Bill number 2624.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
What?
I had my hand raised.
All right, go ahead.
There has been a lot of argument over the months in the past that we were not able to vote if our cameras were not on. So is that still in place or have you changed that policy now?
I've not changed that policy. Who wasn't on?
I think the city clerk could tell you that because she just took roll call.
I have my head down, I'm sorry, during roll call.
Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake on my part. Y'all know I always have my video on.
Okay then. So,
Come on with it.
All right. So
I'm not coming with it. I'm sorry, sir. That's not what I was asking. I was asking, has he changed the policy?
oh, Lord.
Let's keep it clean. I haven't said anything to you. I said it to the mayor if he had changed his policy. That was it.
But I just hope we can go ahead and take care of this business like people who are interested in the business of the city.
Amen.
All right, bill number I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, where am I?
You're at new business, sir, for bill number 2624.
All right, Alderwoman West.
Mayor, I need someone to type this in the chat for me. So if someone would be so kind. I move for the first and second reading of bill number 2624.
Is someone typing that in the chat?
Type it in.
Alderman Carroll is typing it in the chat.
Thank you. Okay, may I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Okay, bill number 2624, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Frontenac Engineering Group, Inc. for engineering services for the repair or replacement of the Bell Fountain Neighbors Recreational Center gym roof.
Is there a second?
I second it, Mayor.
All right. It's been moved and properly second to approve the bill number 2624. Are there any discussion?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
In the contract, we passed an ordinance last year sometime about including sexual orientation and gender identity, prohibiting that discrimination in employment, and it's not in this contract. Is there a reason why?
Let's see. Is Jimmy on?
Alderman Carroll.
Yes.
Hi, this is City Attorney Dorothy White Coleman. I can include that language in there.
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Any further discussion?
Will we have to make an amendment in order to do that? Because we're voting on it right now as is. So that's a question for Dorothy White Coleman.
Well, the contract is approved substantially in the form submitted. Adding the language that Alderman Carroll suggested does not alter the contract.
Okay.
But if you would prefer, Alderwoman Avant Elliott, you can state that the contract is to be amended with that language. But I don't think it's necessary because it's approved in substantially the form submitted.
Okay, so it is something that should have formally been in there. So it's not something that we need to vote on to include in there, correct?
I don't believe you need to.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're quite welcome.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, vote aye.
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 All opposed, is nay. Ayes have it. Alderwoman West.
Bill number 2624, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Frontenac Engineering Group, Inc. for engineering services for the repair or replacement of the Bell Fountain Neighbors Recreational Center gym roof.
Is there a second? I don't see a hand.
I second it.
Okay, Alderman Thomas. Are there any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Alderwoman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Unanimous vote by the board, Mr. Mayor. This bill number 2624 will become ordinance 2604 if and when the mayor signs it.
All righty, thank you. Recommendation from planning and zoning, Pat Barrett.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Back on December 13th, Planning and Zoning reviewed the conditional use permit application by North County Fire and Rescue to construct a new firehouse at 805 Chambers Road. After a short review, discussion, we did vote in favor of recommending a public hearing for a conditional use permit and approval of a conditional use permit. That was largely based on a couple of things. One is to improve response time within the city of Bellefontaine neighbors, and also the separation distances between this facility and the surrounding residences is quite generous. I've come here tonight to make that recommendation for a public hearing to you all.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the recommendation of planning and zoning?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the recommendation from planning and zoning.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any discussion?
Yes, that statement does not include anything specific. So what are you, in the motion, it needs to say what we are approving. Alderman Thomas.
Okay. Pat, do you have the language in the, Thomas, you have it?
Well, it's
Go ahead, Pat.
it's primarily under new business 4B, and that is, again, to recommend a public hearing to be held for conditional use permit for
Let's
the
read.
fire district to construct a new firehouse at 805 Chambers.
Okay, thank you, Pat.
And
May I make a motion?
just one second.
Okay.
Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir.
would you explain when those public meetings will be held? I think that's
Yes,
it.
sir. It needs a 15-day window. And so because of today's date, it would not be available for the next board meeting, but we could plan a public hearing to be held on Thursday, March 3rd, 2022 for the approval of the conditional use permit.
All right. Any further questions? Then all in favor,
I'll restate my motion, Mayor.
go ahead.
I make a motion to accept the recommendation from Planning and Zoning Commission for a public hearing to be held on Thursday, March the 3rd, 2022. And approval of a conditional use permit for North County Fire and Rescue Fire District to construct a new firehouse at 805 Chambers Road.
I second.
All right. Are there any further discussion?
No.
Then all in favor, do a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Alderman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
and Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
It has passed unanimously, Mr. Mayor.
All righty, thank you. We'll move now to number 5, which is discussion and vote on passage of the 2022 liquor license. Alderman Carroll.
I'll type them in.
I beg your pardon?
I'm typing it in right now.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm gonna do each one of these individually as opposed to,
Right.
Mayor, is Jeff, our collector, is he going to start off with the conversation?
Yes, Jeff, what,
I'm here. There's
Right.
6 applicants, and much of this we've gone through before. And everything is there now, and you've had a chance to look at all of it, I believe, by way of email.
Mr. Howe, we have citizens on the line, so can you be very specific with each one, please?
The 6 applicants are the Quick Trip Store on Lilac, the BP filling station at 270 in Bell Fountain, the Aldi store on Bell Fountain Road, the Conoco station at Chambers and Bell Fountain, the Knights of Columbus Hall on Chambers Road, and the, what's the name of that church? On
Holy
Ashbrook,
name of Jesus.
Holy Name of Jesus Church on Ashbrook.
Mayor, I have a couple of questions that I would like to direct to you, and the collector can hear them. I have a couple of questions.
what are they?
If in the event any license is rejected, how soon can we vote them back onto the books if in the event they are rejected?
That's probably a question for the attorney. Attorney Coleman, would you address that, please?
Mayor, if there is a vote on any license and the vote is not to approve the license, then the vote can be reconsidered by anyone voting on the winning side of that motion.
All right.
Typically, the motion to reconsider is done at the same meeting, however.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, can we move forward? All right, go right ahead, Alderman Carroll. I think we were gonna do them separately anyway.
right. I move to approve the liquor license for Quick Trip.
Second,
I'm sorry, who was the second, please?
I'm
Dr. Von
sorry.
Elliott.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Could I get everybody's attention, please? Because I did not catch what he said. So Alderman Carroll, would you repeat your motion?
I move to approve the liquor license for Quick Trip.
Now can we get a second?
Second. It's also in the chat, Mayor.
All right, are there any discussion? I see, I don't see. Okay, then, Alderwoman Reed.
Alderman Carl, I can't remember what Quick Trip was missing.
The managing officer wasn't a
That's it.
resident.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any further discussion?
Mayor, I have my hand up.
Alderman Thomas, I see you.
Okay. Collector Howe, if I'm correct, has that been corrected?
Yes. They reapplied with a different managing director.
And that managing director lives in St. Louis County?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Alderwoman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes,
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yes,
And Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Unanimous vote, Mr. Mayor. It will pass.
All right, Alderman Carroll, would you proceed?
I move to approve the liquor license for BP.
Second. Avant Elliott.
Thank you.
Been moved and properly second. Are there any discussion?
Alderwoman Reed has her hand up, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Reed.
Yeah, were they just late on their application, right?
No. They were the first one actually to turn one in.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Alderwoman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
and Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Also, again, unanimous, Mr. Mayor, it passes.
All right, thank you. Alderman Carroll.
I move to approve the liquor license for Aldi's.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Are there any discussion? Seeing no hands up, are we ready to vote? Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderwoman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
and Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Passed unanimously, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Carroll.
I move to approve the liquor license for ConocoPhillips.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Are there any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman West,
Yes.
Alderwoman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
and Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Passes, sir, unanimously.
Thank you. Alderman Carroll.
I move to approve the liquor license for Knights of Columbus.
Second.
Are there any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman West,
No.
Alderwoman Reed. Please unmute. Thank you. Please unmute. Thank you. Alderman Reed, Alderwoman Reed,
I abstain.
Alderman Carroll,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
With 4 voting yes, 1 abstaining, and 1 voting no, the motion would pass.
All righty. Thank you, Alderman Carroll.
I move to approve the liquor license for Holy Name of Jesus.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Are there any further discussion?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Um, re- do you,
I see. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, regarding our liquor license ordinance, we've had discussion via email about updating that ordinance so it reflects the language of the state statute. And there's also, I think Chief brought up, like in our ordinance, that we probably ought to define what a church is, what a place of worship is, and what a school is. Because I believe over there at that community center, I forgot what the name of it is, across from Rulers, they hold GED classes or the ACE programs there. I don't know if that would be considered a school or not, but I think it would just be a good idea to kind of update that, take a look at that ordinance and update those couple of items.
All right. Point well taken. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll. Seeing
I got my hand up, man.
you do? All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
I just had a comment on the churches and our language of the ordinance. And I do believe the ordinance needs to be updated. But I believe at this time, we need to pass these liquor license at this point and work on the ordinance at a later date and not hold
Vote on
not
them.
not hold them against, not hold something that we're working on against the church, against the business that wants to open a liquor store. If I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying that correctly. But I think we're talking about Holy Name of Jesus, which is actually a church asking for a liquor license at this point.
I think we got a motion on the floor,
Yes.
and we need to dispense with the motion.
Right.
All in favor, call a roll, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Alderwoman West. Oh,
No.
Alderwoman Reed has her hand up, sir, for
Alderman
discussion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't remember if in the documentation did Holy Name of Jesus, did they say they were selling liquor? They're just passing liquor, correct? It did.
I'm sure they sell it.
They sell it? Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay, wasn't sure. Thanks.
Alderman Carroll.
I believe like a church can sell liquor per the statute, the state statute. I'm not exactly the exact wording, but as long as, and what Attorney White Coleman can chime in on that. But I forgot what the exact language is. If the board approves it, that a church could go ahead and sell liquor. My concern is like when, like with Family Dollar and Rulers, you know, we've used use the reasoning that across the street that community center is defined as a church, and then I guess the reasoning regarding the gateway liquor license, the church there at the daycare, and it's to just more to find that and clean that up is what I would think.
Alderwoman West.
So it's my understanding that Holy Name of Jesus only sells wine, I think, as opposed to the liquor stores that sell whiskey, scotch, etc. So I think that's the difference between a liquor store and a church.
All right. All in favor of the motion, call a roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderwoman West.
No.
Alderwoman Reed.
Stay.
Alderman Carroll.
Yes.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
And Alderwoman, sorry, I did, Alderman Avant Elliott and Alderwoman Gales.
Are you calling me now, Judy?
No, I got you mixed up, sorry.
Please don't ever, but
Oh,
yes.
Both yeses,
Yes.
thank you, okay. With 4 voting yes, 1 no, and 1 abstain, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Carroll, was that it?
In the email, the city collector stated something about Gateway wanting their liquor license to be voted on. I'm willing to vote on it, but I'm not willing to vote yes for it. So I'm not going to make the motion. So if there's any other alderperson that wants to make that motion for Gateway.
All
Mayor,
right. Can I get a
I have-
motion?
I have
Hand
a
up?
question.
All right, Dr. May.
So, Collector Howe, that would be the entity that would need approval through us waiving the language, correct?
You have to waive the 300-foot requirement.
You have to waive the 350, what is it, 300 what?
300 feet.
300 feet requirement.
It's property
And-
in the property line.
Okay, so if we get our statute properly updated, then that resolves that anyway, correct?
No, it has to be voted on for each application.
No, I'm saying that if we get our ordinance updated to align with the state statute doesn't have that requirement, correct?
Well, the state statute starts out with a 100-foot requirement, but the state statute allows each municipality to choose to go up to 300 feet if it wants to. And 300 feet was chosen a long time ago in Bellefontaine.
Okay, so they start off at 100 feet.
Correct.
Okay, and then we got 300 feet, but that can be waived, is what you're saying.
It can be waived on an individual basis. That's right.
Okay, thank you for
So
the
I reckon
clarification.
it's never been waived, and maybe there's never going to need to waive it, but we've got some applicants now who would like the board to consider waiving.
All right. Was there a motion made to approve the license for Gateway Market?
Mayor, I would like to, if I could finish my inquiry, is that something that you would like approved as the mayor?
No,
Have nothing to do.
I made it clear at the Gateway 3 years ago that they were too close to that church. And
It's not-
they proceeded as if I said nothing.
Oh, wow.
So no, I would not approve it.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't think there's a motion on the floor for it.
I have my hand raised.
Alderman West,
Okay, Jamie, if you would do the typing. I move that Gateway Market be included in the list of liquor licenses to be considered and voted on at tonight's meeting.
And that motion will need to include a consent to waive the 300-foot requirement. And I have to mention also that he's not a resident of St. Louis County. And he knows that that's a stipulation as well. The owner is a resident of St. Charles County.
So it would have been nice to have brought that up a little bit earlier.
Well, I included in the email.
okay. So we have a
So
motion.
I rescind my motion based on the information I just received.
All right, then I need somebody to make a motion.
No, you don't need one.
I have a question.
I
rescinded my motion, Mayor, so.
Okay.
We-
Somebody
yeah.
make a motion to reject them, issuing them liquor license at this time.
So Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor, so they were not presented by the collector as entity with a completed application for us to even approve. So the ones we were approving tonight were only the ones that had completed applications.
No.
I don't know, is there anyone here to speak for them?
Their application was actually a 2021 application from way back in May. And I have their sale dated check right now. This request of theirs just came in recently that they wanted the board to have a chance to vote up or down on it. I guess they didn't know that the board was already aware of their request. But they wanted to vote up or down it, and this is through their attorney and by way of Dorothy White Coleman. Just this week.
Okay. So what that one is an up or down vote. Is that correct?
Correct. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. I mean,
Right. Alderman Carroll.
I'm a little bit new to this issue, but I'm told that they've been told probably 4 times that they were not eligible at that location for a liquor license.
I made that clear to them a long time ago. Alderman Carroll.
This is a question for the attorney. So my understanding was, can we make a motion to reject their liquor license? I always thought motions had to be in like the affirmative.
Alderman Carroll, you are correct. The motions are typically in the affirmative. However, because Gateway has requested a vote one way or the other on their application, if there's not going to be a motion to approve, then it would probably be prudent to vote on denying, if indeed that's the will of the board.
Mayor,
I move to reject Gateway's liquor license application. I'm sorry.
I was typing that in the chat, and that was going to be my question. And if I can read the motion that I typed before I send it, I move to reject the application from Gateway for a liquor license. Is the name of the entity Gateway, or is it just Gateway Liquor or
Gateway Market,
Gateway Market?
right.
Alderman Thomas, the use of the word deny might be better in this instance.
Okay, I can do that. Instead of reject, I'm putting deny.
Point of order. I've already made the motion, Mayor.
Okay,
So if we're going to second it and move on, or if
I'd
I
like to
mean,
have
I would,
move on.
I second it.
Okay. If there are no further discussion, then call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderwoman West,
No.
Alderman Reed,
Yes.
Alderman Carroll,
yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Dales,
Yes.
Alderman Avant Elliott, Alderman Avant Elliott, sorry, I can't hear you.
Alderwoman Elliott. Yeah, apparently she's,
could you restate the motion? I'm sorry, I was muted on my mic.
Okay. The motion is to deny Gateway Market their liquor license.
Yes.
So on the motion, we have 1, 2, 5 yeses, 1 no. So the motion to reject the liquor license has been passed.
all righty, very good. So at this time, we will move to the semi-annual financial report. Howard,
I'd like to thank all the aldermen for their votes today.
I beg your pardon.
I'd like to thank all the aldermen for their votes today.
All right, very good. Thank.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Hello,
All right, you,
can you hear me?
yes.
So communicating the status of the semi-annual financial reports, they've been provided for information and were being published as of this morning, as long as the snow didn't hinder that process for the sake of compliance and communicating that information to the public and following the ordinance. As it relates to other topics that I wanted to discuss, specifically the bond rating and the audit that's currently being conducted. Aside from those two, just from a general update, the city currently holds $5.9 million in all funds. As it relates to the bond rating, the city received, it was an A- rating with a negative watch. The A- rating isn't different from what had previously been provided last year. This is something that's conducted annually, but the key factors that was communicated for the watch and negative standing was based on multiple years of budgeting with deficits as the expected outcome annually. In addition to that, canceled regular board meetings throughout the year of 2021 and high city turnover amongst individuals with management input. Those factors were indications of potential risk for obstruction to financial obligations for the city in the future. With that being the case, that was the reason for the indication of the A- rating with the negative watch. In addition to that, from an annual reporting standpoint, unaudited financial reports were provided to the state in a timely manner. So the city was compliant with providing financial reports, though they were unaudited. They were also provided for the annual report reported to the state in December as well as in January. Right now, there's an audit currently taking place, and specific to updated auditing standards, the audit firms are now required to provide significant risk and potential items that they have they've identified throughout the course of the audit to be communicated to the board and to the mayor. In identifying these risks, it's not an indication that they have detected evidence of fraud or have seen that these specific risk factors have had contributing elements to the financial statements. However, they're present risk and they are to be communicated to the board. So the two items that have significant risk factors that they've identified is management override of controls and improper revenue recognition due to fraud. So as I mentioned before, this is not an indication that fraud was identified. However, the potential of such could occur if these activities are conducted. The other items that they identified, which are more specific to the operations of the city, is that the city has a lack of expertise necessary for financial preparation with administrative staff in the office. In addition to that, they've identified significant changes in management, more specifically, the fact that the city clerk retired and was not replaced directly right away. So those two items are specific to the city as it relates to financial reporting and potential risk for misstatement. Not, as I mentioned before, not an indication that that has resulted in misstatement. However, those two items have been identified as potential risk for such. With that being the case, that pretty much concludes everything that I wanted to communicate. At this time, I'll just open it up for anybody that has any questions.
Alderman Dales.
I'm sorry, Patrick, can you specifically state which line item will the speed humps and bumps or bumps be taken from, and what is the total amount for that particular speed hump or bumps?
Are you referencing the current budget we have in place?
Correct.
In the current budget, there is no specific line identifying the expenditure of speed humps and speed bumps. It was an item that was discussed in budget meetings and plannings between department heads, but it was not initiated as a part of the current year budget. However, it was discussed to be added in the planning and implementation of the 2022-2023 budget.
And was there any specific amount?
That has not been determined at this time.
And well, you probably wouldn't know, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Can those funds be taken out of the ARP money? And this is for our citizens to know. If we put that bid out within the next 45 days for our speed humps or bumps, base, can those funds be taken out of the ARP money as public safety?
So
Or-
in the most recent months, there was an update to the requirements for the ARP funds for municipalities that received less than $10 million that allows those municipalities to use that ARP fund money for general revenue purposes, with a couple exceptions related to reduction in taxes and payment of bonds. So with that being the case, upon establishment of the budget for such expenditure, it is possible to use those funds in that manner.
Thank you very much.
Alderwoman May.
Mayor, I think Alderman Thomas' hand was up first. I'll allow him if you don't mind.
I'm just going down the list of hands that I see
Okay.
here.
All right, Treasurer, I think I asked the question in the email. So what data would the rating agency pull in order to make the determinations that they did related to board meetings? There's no minutes posted, there's nothing posted. Where would they get information from?
It was a questionnaire of regular, it was just a questionnaire sent into the city.
Okay, so someone from the city answered it and then they sent it back.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Thomas, I'm sorry, Alderman Carroll, I beg your pardon. Alderman Carroll. There you go.
This is, I don't know who this is to direct this towards, either the city treasurer or the attorney White Coleman, but we're supposed to publish those statements on every 6 months. How can we just automatically have that take place? Would we need to pass some sort of resolution or ordinance to just make that happen in a timely manner?
I think that's a twofold response. One, I didn't directly, so I provide the financial statements. In prior years, I didn't directly provide it to the newspaper outlets. So that's a part of the learning of whom to be in contact with. So that was the first part. So I know as a part of the discussions we were having, even in the most recent weeks, some of the expenditures attached to publishing that information was a bit too high, just to be frank. So it was more of us doing a little bit more research in order to determine what was the most reasonable way to publish the information. I think we've identified a source that we can use just going forward. Other than that, when it comes to
can I interject? What source is that?
It was the let me see, the county in St. Louis County.
Yes. So then the city intends to use that and publish those statements every 6 months then?
Yes.
Okay, and with that, so then I guess I'll let you finish my other part then. Do we need to do a resolution or ordinance where that just automatically takes place?
I'm not sure that will be necessary, aside from creating a budget for the expenditure.
Okay.
I tend to agree with Treasurer Howard, Alderman Carroll. It's already required by statute. You just need to have a process in place to make sure it's done. And it sounds like Treasurer Howard has identified that. So I think a resolution wouldn't do anything more than what you already have there.
Okay. So then one final question, then when are they gonna be published? What months?
What months would they be published?
Yeah, so what are you looking at? Like February and August of each year publishing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
so based on their publication dates, they have 2-day turnaround. So if it's provided on the 31st, it would be the beginning of February.
Okay.
That's why just adding on to internal controls and processes, reconciliation on a 6-month basis can be a bit daunting for one individual. Especially when it comes to communicating areas that may need improvement or reconciling differences amongst questions that may be held in the office. So, it's not something that's readily available at the push of a button, because there are questions that come up throughout the month.
Hmm. Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Dr. May?
Yeah, just a few final questions. So when you mentioned unaudited reports being sent in, why you said, were they unaudited reports? What?
You said, why were they unaudited?
Yeah.
Oh, because the audit wasn't done.
So you talking about from the firm? So, but you mentioned they're doing an audit now, but they weren't in place then? I'm just trying to get clarification.
No, so the annual report is, there's 2 annual reports. One is due on December 31st, and the other one is due on January 26th. The audit was initiated sometime in December. At the beginning of the conversation with the auditors, it was communicated that the audit wouldn't be finished in time to provide audited financial statements for that purpose. In my conversations with the individuals who I work with to provide the unaudited financial reports, and reading the regulations with the auditors, the regulations for financial reporting, it outlines specific details that should be communicated in the financial reports. And it says, in lieu of this information, an audited financial report can be provided. So with that being the case, the office already has financial reports set up to send to the state. And instead of sending financial statements from our accounting systems, we had in lieu sent audited financial statements. However, that you can send unaudited financial statements instead of audited reports if you so choose, but that's not something that we had done historically.
Okay, so with the authorization process, the checks and balances you were referring to, since the board has not approved the auditing firm, and it had been mentioned when they presented before, and there has not been a meeting that has prevented that, it hasn't even been on the agenda. What will be the process when it's time to pay them and they're not authorized by the board to even act in that capacity? What is going to be the impact of that? Because I would think that would be an audit finding in itself.
Yeah, that would fit into the categories of what the risk that I communicated. So in that regard, then there needs to be a hold on the payment until it's approved to follow ordinances.
Yeah. Final question, as far as the COVID money, what are our outstanding funds being used for? Is it still mainly like police related transactions, or what are our specific focus with those funds at this point, the remaining funds?
Yeah, the specific focus at this point has been geared towards improvements at the rec center. in addition to general related activities. I think the mayor can speak more to some of those things, but as far as budget related discussions, it's been geared more towards the needed activities at the rec center.
Okay, and for payroll, you all, you and the mayor have to sign off on payroll, or is it just processed automatically? Like the staff payroll?
The way the staff payroll works and the internal control is that the finance clerk prepares the financial, the payroll documentation, and it's signed off by the mayor to be set up in the payroll system.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
All righty, there being no further questions, thank you for that report. We're coming down to the end of the meeting, and we're about ready to adjourn. But as far as information getting to the auditors, anybody can get public information. All they have to do is request it, and they can get it. So they know all about board meetings, no quorum, and all of that kind of stuff. So not only do they know it, a whole lot of other folks know it. It's no secret. All righty. Thank you all for the good work that you've done tonight. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposers, nay. Ayes have it, and so ordered. Everybody have a wonderful night. Be safe in the snow and ice. Be very careful. Oh, just as we leave, I just want to thank our street department for doing such a good job on our streets. This was bad. This was a bad storm, and they did a yeoman's job, and I thank them for it. And I'm sure our citizens does it. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Night
Thank you,
all.
Miss Judy.
Good night.
Welcome.